Welcome back, sports fans, to the next segment of Between the Lines on Hot 1600 Www Baby Live, and I'm your host, Mr. Passwell. Ooh, I told you I had something, a big surprise for you. It's not a surprise. Major League Baseball is here, baby. It's time for the show. Oh, yes, it's time. Here we go. 30 teams, 162 games. It's down to the final 12. Winner take all. And I tell you, it is going to be one of the best of the best playoff seasons that we have seen in some time. Ooh-wee. Stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. Hot 1600 www Baby Live. Between the lines, we're covering all the bases.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are covering all the bases. I'm your man, Mr. Paswell, and we're hot and tuned for the baseball season to call it quits. Man, we waited all summer for this to come down to this. And that kind of like lets you really know that summer is over. Oh, it's getting to be cold, cold, cold. But that's all right, because the heat up. Ooh-wee. We're on fire now that we're into the end of the baseball season, and we're getting ready to come down to the World Series. Who's going to win it all this time? Who is it going to be? Is it going to be? Or is it going to be? Or could it be? Well, let's find out here. Let's take a few moments and let's take a deeper look and see what's actually shaking here. We're down to like the last 20 some odd games of the season. And oh man, it just seems to be a big old drawn out, drag out fight. First, let's slide over to the American League and let's see exactly what's popping. We got the division leaders, Toronto Blue Jays, and then we got Detroit Tigers doing the Central, and of course we got Houston Nationals filling in the spot for the West. But now that wild card where it seems to really get to be hot, we got the Yankees. Them damn Yanks. The Boston Red Sox, Seattle Mariners, and still in the hunt, even this far deep, is the Texas Rangers and, of course, the Cleveland Indians, Guardians. I think there's going to be a stigma that's going to be said forever when you talk about the team that plays baseball in Cleveland. They're going to always be the Indians, and they're going to always play the Jake, and it's always going to be Chief Wahoo and the boys doing it well. But then as we slide on down to the National League, we got the Milwaukee Brewers, the best team in baseball. Then we got Philadelphia Phillies, and then, of course, the Dodgers. And then we got the wild card kind of shaping up like this here with the Chicago Cubs and the San Diego Padres, and, of course, those other New York team, that other team from New York, the Mets, with San Fran and Cincinnati playing in the background. It's kind of like creep. But I tell you, they're running out of time, and so that we got so much baseball, and we only have so little time to get there. We need Smoking the Bandit on this one here. So let's go ahead and consolidate this and everything down. Let's get down to the main deal. Now we have a playoff format that has 12 teams. It's cool. And then instead of the wild card games being just one as it has been throughout the years, now it comes down to a 3-game series. So that means there's plenty of stinking freaking baseball to go. But you know what? Being at a warm weather game, a lot of times it's played in the cold weather cities when it gets to be into the fall and shucks, man, breaking right into the winter. Matter of fact, let me take a quick look-see at this playoff schedule and what it looks like. And oh man, it looks like everything comes to a head and begins with the American League Championship Series being played in October as a 7-game series. Oh man, about October 12th, the American League and the National League respectively. That could mean that the World Series could start somewhere around about the 24th. Ooh, man, which means that the last game, should it go to full seven, that means that the game seven of the World Series could be on Saturday, November the 1st. Man, do you know what that means? That means they'll be throwing snowballs instead of baseballs. But that all depends upon where it's played. Let's find out. We got a playoff scenario that looks kind of like this. If the season was to end today, and that means right here, and it means right now here in the middle of September, in the American League, we have Toronto Blue Jays, who've been making a dominant run all the way the whole entire season. We'll get that first round bye. And then we have the Detroit Snapping Tigers, and they'll come roaring through. And they're sitting pretty, and they get a first round bye to get a chance to kind of relax and get their minds right and everything like that. But what's going to be real nice? Oh, what starts this momentum? What starts the fire burning? The smoldering, it goes with Houston will be playing, which will be the number 3 seed, be playing the Seattle Mariners. Both of them teams got some playoff pedigree, and this series could be pretty intense. That could be a good fight. But man, I want to see the New York Rock'em Sock'em Yankees knock out the Boston. Oh, wait a minute. Can't use any bias with this here. I'm a Yankees fan. Yes, okay. The Boston Red Sox. Now that's a rivalry that is always hot, especially by the playoff time. Who will knock who out this year? And usually when whoever gets knocked out, let me rephrase that, whoever wins usually wins the whole kit and caboodle. So that should be pretty tight, and that should be pretty interesting. But now let's take a look here at the National League and see what's popping on that there. Hey, look at that team from Milwaukee, the Brew Crew. Oh, man, you thirsty? Oh, man, buy that man the Millers. No, Milwaukee's best. Hey, they're cruising in the top spot. And matter of fact, with the best record in baseball. And they need that much needed buy and everything like that. But they have a lot of firepower. Can they keep it up? And then we have the number 2 team, which would be Philadelphia Phillies, who are also a powerhouse, who've been there. And they're looking to make a very deep run this year. And will they have what it takes to keep that dominance alive? And then, of course, coming in as the wild card teams will be the number 3 seed, the World Series champion, those Dodgers. Playing against that other team from New York, those New York Mets. Hey, now you know what now? You know what all the playoff experience that the Mets have and all the playoff experience that the Dodgers have. Could the Dodgers put it all together one more time? But then we got Chicago Cubs, who won it a few years back, and of course, them upstarts, and they always seem to be upstarts. San Diego Padres. The Padres, I don't even know what that was. That was some kind of prayer. No, but that's usually what they come up with and everything like that for them to be able to make anything happen. So the best teams in baseball and everything right now seems to be outright the Milwaukee Brewers and the Toronto Blue Jays. And they are sitting pretty as the number 1 seeds and everything like that with the Phillies and, of course, respectively, the Detroit Tigers playing the number 2 seeds. So that makes for a very interesting scenario because where you sit and place in that bracket is a very good picture. Let's slide over to the American League first and let's take a little closer look here. Okay, so now we got Seattle and Houston, the 3 playing the 6. Okay, Houston being the number 3, Seattle being the number 6, and the winner of that series will face the Tigers. Okay. And so now we got the Yankees, which would be number 4 team, against Boston, the number 5 team. And the winner of that would make it an All-American League first part of the ALCS. Playing the Toronto Blue Jays. Well, that would be interesting. Let's see now, if I was a betting man, which I am not, I got my money. I'm going to say, let's see, between the Yankees and Toronto, you know me, I'm going to go with the Yankees. And then against Detroit, against Houston. Well, you know what? I'm gonna look for. I'm gonna look for Houston to be able to use some of that old magic, not that magic where they look behind the mirror and they see what's going on in that locker room. Shh, you didn't hear that. And then the winner of between the Yankees and Houston. Oh man, I got to go with the Yankees beating Houston and everything like that in a great 6-game series. Over to the American League where we got the Dodgers and everything being the number 3 seed against the New York Mets. I see the Dodgers prevailing on a squeaker that would probably take it all the way down to the third and final game on that in that series. And I see we got Chicago, the number 4 seed, playing the Padres of the Padres, Memoria Full and let's see, I got Chicago. You know what, man? I'm gonna have to give that little push there to the Padres. The Padres coming through, and the Miracle Padres coming through and winning that series there. And now when they get to play Milwaukee, which whom the Padres will play next, ooh, they'll have their hands full, and I think that's when Cinderella's slipper will just fall off. Now we've seen when we have Philadelphia will be playing the winner of the Dodgers Mets series, and that would seem to be, I think the Dodgers still have enough magic to be able to make one more run, take it deep all the way to the NLCS, where I think the Dodgers will handily hand Milwaukee their walking papers. All brew is dried up here. There's no more drink. The bar's closed. And so I got the Dodgers playing the Yankees and everything in a classic, a nostalgia for those born in the 70s and born in the 90s. Can remember these games such as this. I think this will be one where the Yankees will do it again. Now, that's my pick. And I don't think DraftKings or MLB betting or anything like that is counting on me to be able to put anything across the board or anything like that. So we're not going to put any money out there, are we? No, we're not going to put any money out there. But you know what? Let's find out what makes these teams so special. What makes these teams so worthwhile? Well, let's go back to the American League first, and let's start. Okay, I'm going to start. You know what? I'm going to start from the bottom up. Yeah, let's switch it up. Start from the bottom up. Let's start with the Seattle Mariners, the number 6 seed. And what makes them so special? Now, the Mariners might not be your favorite, but they do have one of the best young guns in baseball, Julio Rodriguez, and a great pitching staff with Luis Castillo and George Kirby. The team is built that has a chip on their shoulder and a never die attitude. And their pitching staff is deep enough to make them win all the little short series. Their offense has a lot of firepower, a lot of weapons, and it's a team that thrives in close games. So if you don't put them away soon, they are a team that can come back and haunt you. Now we got the Boston Red Sox. Now that Boston Red Sox team is a team with potential of great offense with, of course, Ralph Devers and Justin Turner. But you know what? They've also added a great consistent pitching, especially down this last stretch. They've really been putting things together with their bullpen, and they really thrive under pressure. And in short, they got an offense that can get hot real quick, and that is one of the toughest teams to try to beat out there. Now, of course, the team that's in the money in the middle is those New York Yankees. And let me tell you what makes them so special. They are one of the most dangerous teams in baseball, with the most feared hitter, Mr. Judge. Doom, doom, doom. And of course, they got a pitching staff that seems to be able to begin to put the pieces together, especially for this late run in the season. So yeah, with Garrett Cole and that rotation, they seem to be poised to make a move of dominance. And I think if they can stay healthy, they'll be a team to root for when it comes down later in October. All right, now we got the Astros. And, you know, the Astros, they seem like they would be the old men of the group and everything like that because, you know, they're a team that's been built for October with their great Jose Altuve and Alex Bergman, and, of course, Yonder Alvarez. They make up a seasoned group of veterans that can really handle the pressure. And their pitching staff that just continues to remain elite. They continue to be a mainstay with Farber Valdez and, of course, the grand old man Justin Verlander leading the way. Houston knows how to win in the postseason. And if history's on their side, they will definitely be the team to beat. Now we slide up to number 2, Detroit Tigers. Now what makes them so special? Well, the Tigers have really exceeded expectations all season long. Once they got an opportunity to get into first place and everything like that, they basically held on to it and ran away with the Central Division. Even though the Indians did make a push with them in the early part up until All-Star break, but they just couldn't get over the hump and everything like that. And so then basically what Detroit did was they put the pedal to the metal with their lead of their rotation with Michael Lorenzo and emerging star Eduardo Rodriguez. Man, they're having a great top-notch year. And that bullpen, oh man, almost second to none. The defense is crisp. And in the postseason, they look to make up with a strong pitching defense to go a long way, especially in tight games where the offense might just sometimes struggle. And of course, to lead out the American League, we got the Toronto Blue Jays. That team from Canada. Oh, Canada. Which is also a fabulous, dangerous lineup. Man, it seems like nobody in the American League would even have a chance to even catch them and everything like that. With Thad Guillermo Jr. and Bo Bichette, of course, George Springer. They got the ability to launch the ball all over the stadium, putting run after run on the board. But what about them? The system apart with the other teams, they got a balanced pitching staff with Alex Manoah. Can be one of the aces in this whole season. And he can really, with the improved bullpen that they've been able to bolster over the All-Star break and also trading deadline, oh man, they're completely explosive. And with their combination of both hitting and pitching, they seem to be one of the best well-rounded teams in this postseason. Now let's slide over to the National League and let's start again from the bottoms up. And we're going to talk about those other teams, that other team from New York, those New York Mets. What makes them so special? Well, they have a dynamic pitching rotation with Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander at the top. That doesn't seem to be right. The name came up before. No? That must have been a typo. A typo in my information there, and that's okay. With the Mets offensive, their inconsistency sometimes, they don't seem to be firing on all cylinders, and they might be a team that might be able to get snuck up on. So you got to be careful sometimes. And then, with that boy, you can never count on Pete Alonso. That man does it well. And my man Francisco Lindor, who never should have left Cleveland, but money talk. Money talk. Money talks. They're a team that's looking to run deep and be a surprise in these offseason. Hey, here we go. The Padres, Cinderella story. What makes them so best and makes them so great? They seem to be the most talented team on the roster from up and down with Manny Machado, Fernando Tatis, and Juan Soto with Xander Bogaerts. Oh man, they got an all-star. That's where the typo came in. They got an all-star sitting up there in their pitching staff with Yu Darvish and Blake Snell. They can perform at their best and they can beat anyone when it comes down to a one-game playoff series. And then there's a team with immense potential to everything. They have everything to win and nothing to lose. That's why they seem to be the Cinderella favorite so far this year. And we got Chicago Cubs topping it off here at number 4. What makes them so special? Well, the Cubs emerged as one of the biggest surprises in baseball this season. They play great baseball all the way around, solid pitching, timely hitting, and excellent defense. With the emergence of Marcus Stroman as their ace and Dansby Swanson's leadership have been key factors in them being one of the better teams in baseball. They're with Cody Bellinger and Nick in there, the Cubs can sneak up on the team and catch fire at the right time. And as we go to now into the top three, we're looking at those Dodgers, those pesky Dodgers, who seem to be equipped for an advancement to winning back-to-back. They are a great team that seem to be poised and everything like that to be able to go back-to-back and win it all again with Mookie Betts and, of course, Freddie Freeman and JD Martinez. But let's not forget Tommy. Oh, boy. That boy is just utterly incredible to watch. Next to Judge, I like to watch that boy pitch and watch him hit. So they're in a great position this year to make a push and really be able to do something. Even though, they don't seem to have any glaring weakness, it's really going to see if they can stay hot and stay consistent. Because, baseball is a game of timing. It's a thing of ebb and flow like a river. Some moments you're hot, some moments you're cold. Oh, man, what about them Philadelphia Phillies? Well, they're the number 2 seed, it would look like, it seems like. And what makes them so special? Well, they do have some postseason experience with Bryce Harper and J.D. Vermato and Zach Wheeler leading the way. But you know what? They are a team that is battle-tested time and time again. Now, if they can just put all the pieces of the puzzle together and make some glue and some cohesiveness, maybe they might be able to make that step up. Where are they going to step up to? Well, there's only one place left to step up to this year in the National League, and that's where Milwaukee sits as the number 1 seed. Man, Milwaukee has been sensational all year long in the National League. Their dominant pitching rotation with Corbin Burnes and Brandon Woodruff and Freddie Peralta is one of the best in baseball. And they got a bullpen that has shut down artists situated all throughout. Anywhere from 7 innings on, they have been able to shut teams down and shut teams out. With the offenses clicking, players like Christian Yelich and Willie Ames, hey, they're extremely dangerous. In this postseason, their pitching can be the key, which will get them into the show. So that's cool. That looks good. That sounds good. But now, you know what? Let's find out who is really the 2 top contenders for this year in winning it all. And it seems like for the American League, it's going to be those Toronto Blue Jays. And here's why. The Toronto Blue Jays have the best chance to win it all in the American League right now. They're leading the way with the number 1 seed with the dominant regular season so far. Oh, man, they got everything. They got offense. They got guys like Vad G. They got Bo Bichette, strong pitching, solid aces like Alex Manoah, and a bullpen that's solid all throughout the year. They've been a team that is built to win, and they're primed to make a great push this October. Now, their abilities to both hit and to pitch at a high level, coupled with the fact that they've been getting first-round bye, means that they can rest up and hit the ground running when it comes to the pressure that will start when they get to the ALCS. Toronto has all the right tools to win it all, and with the experience from last year's playoff push to lean on, they should be able to get over the hump. But now, there's a team from Milwaukee, Pabst Blue Ribbon Beer. They're tough. They're battle-tested. They could go all the way. They're built for success around an elite pitching staff of Corbin Burnes and Brandon Woodruff. They play like the postseason has been every single day. They've been playing lights-out baseball all throughout the season. Their bullpen has been solid. Their lineup has been hitting the ball over the place. They have a balanced attack. If you're beating them for the first few innings hitting, they're able to come through with the pitching. If you're beating them the first few innings pitching, they're able to come through with the hittings. They can never be counted out of a baseball game, no matter what's at stake and no matter what's going on. And then when you get down to their depth, they have to be seen to be one of the most in-depth teams, or have the most depth as teams in the chase that's going on. Next to the Yankees. The Yankee bias is going to get rocks thrown at me in a little bit. But you know what? Those are the 2 top teams. But both leagues have their Cinderella. So who's wearing the glass slipper for the American League? Hey, those Seattle Mariners. Hey, they're sneaking in to make sure that they can come and steal the show with Julio Rodriguez and their pitching staff leading the way with their dangerous closer, Luis Castillo. The Mariners are getting no spotlight, so nobody knows what's going on. They're like right up under the radar. And you know what? They're that team that never says die. And if you slip, because you're slipping, they'll slip right up on you. Seattle is the underdog that has energy. And if they're knocking at you and they hit you with their juggernaut punch, like the Astros, oh man, they could club their way to the World Series. And if they're able to do so, watch out. If they get to the show, they could steal the show. There's always places for them to break through. And then, of course, there's Lisa Maria full of grace of San Diego Padres. That's the National League Central team this year. Now, they've had some ups and downs, and, some of it's been fielding, some of it's been hitting, some of it's been pitching. And I tell you, their inconsistency, if they get hot at the right time, oh man, and they can get in flow with the rhythm and everything like that. Ooh, man, let the mariachi music start to playing, man, and get the salsa going. Those boys will be cooking. And you know what? They're just poised in a position to knock off the top dogs, such as the Dodgers and the Mets. So, by no means whatsoever count San Diego Padres out. And if they win a couple of those games that don't nobody know that they were supposed to win this game but them, oh man, they could do it all. So, as it seems, you got your 12 teams scattered throughout baseball with a little bit of everything. Each team having their own little niche, their own little ambiance to bring to it. And if the right team is able to put the right recipe together, oh, what a beautiful dish that'll make. That makes World Series Championship come November 1st. Who will be the World Series champ? Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to come back at the end of the season and let you know and fill you in and find out who is really going, who is really staying, and who is really playing. I'll see you soon. But until the next time, on the next part of the segment of the show, I'm going to end it with some beautiful, beautiful places, with some beautiful, beautiful faces, such as that lovely woman that everyone loves, Miss Venus Williams, and of course, she was on and did her thing with the U.S. Open, and you know what? That might not be the end of Miss Venus. Venus, if you will, she may be back again for some more action. And then, of course, another lovely lady who just got inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. More money, my amor. Oh man, if her career hadn't been cut short, man, if she didn't walk away, how many more championships would this woman, who's won at every stinking level, done? Those are two beautiful women we want to talk about and what they've done to accentuate women's sports and just sports overall. The women love them, the men love them, we all love them. Now you come back and love them some more, because you know where you're at? You're in between the lines with your man, Mr. Baswell. And this is how it goes. See you real soon. Peace. I'm out. And as always, one love. Baby.